Hey, what's going on, everybody? I got my DOT physical today, and I was kind of freaking out about it a little bit for no reason whatsoever. And I talked to my uncle who drives truck and talked to a bunch of other drivers, and they told me how their physicals go. But every time I would call a doctor and talk about it, they would ask me, is it my first time or am I renewing a physical? So I started to get a little bit worried. For no reason whatsoever. Like I said, I just overthink things. And yeah, and looking at a lot of these truck drivers, my uncle in particular, I love my uncle to death, but I mean, he's a big guy. His eyesight's not the best. And he passes with flying colors when he goes his physical done. But the way they made it sound, I thought when going in for my first time, that they may scrutinize me a little bit more. But it wasn't actually that bad. And I think those that are going to do it for the first time will appreciate a little bit of insight into it anyway. A little bit of description of what they got to watch out for, what they got to do. Because on Google you're going to find a few different things, but a lot of those come from specialized clinics or whatever. And they don't tell you exactly what you got to look out for, what you're going to do. But I called a handful of different places. The doctor here in town is going to charge me $180 to $190. I can't remember which, just for the physical. And the little doctor Nord that I went and got seen, just like 16 miles away, they were going to do it for $96. So, excuse me. Anyway, I went down there this morning. Since I was their first-time customer there, I guess you'd call it, I had fill out the paperwork you all got to do when you go there for the first time. Just so they got their information, your contact information, if anything happens to you, who do they call, things like that. That don't take too long to fill out. Then they hand me that kind of sheet. And that receptionist lady, she fills out the top part of it, has your name, your contact information, your social, things like that. Then they have right below that the health history thing, which you fill out. And it asks you with a bunch of yes or no boxes, do you have any illnesses? Have you ever had, in the past 5 years, had brain injuries? Do you got any eye disorders that can't be corrected with corrective lenses? And it goes on, lung disease, kidney disease, you have a stroke, you have sleep disorders, you have chronic low back pain. The only thing that I clicked yes on, or checked yes on, was nervous disorder. And the only reason I did that is, one, so they know. And I wrote on there that I had a panic attack in August of 2013. Which is the last time that I had a panic attack. I still deal with anxiety issues on and off, but nothing as severe as what I dealt with back then. But I also put on there that it has since been taken care of naturally without the use of medication, which is true. I don't take any pills for it, never have, never will. And I asked you to write the doctor down that you went and seen. And I think the main reason they have you put something like that on there is because there's anti-anxiety pills and antidepressants that can affect your ability to drive. So those things they want to know. Things that are going to affect you when you drive. And there are things that you don't want to check yes on, because what may not seem like a big thing to you, if you click yes on it, the doctor may have a different interpretation as to what it means. So even though it may not be a big deal, if you write it on there and you check yes on there, they may not pass you, because they may, like I say, have a different interpretation of it. They may think it's going to be a bad deal when it really isn't. So be careful with what you check yes on. And I did that just to get it out there, because if they did any background whatever on me, they would find that out. So it's not a big deal. Doctor didn't question it a bit. That was the one thing I was worried about. It says on there that they can talk to you about it and figure out the ins and outs of it. They didn't say 2 words to me about it. But when I finally went back in the office, they threw me on a scale. I'm only 190 pounds. So I'm excited about that. I don't know why I'm excited about that. Still pretty heavy. They checked the blood pressure, and I always get kind of a white coat fever when I go to the doctor for no reason whatsoever. I don't know why. But yeah, they check my blood pressure. My blood pressure is always fine. I told her that I get kind of a white coat fever, and she stuck a little deal on my finger, checked my pulse. My pulse is pretty high. So she, told me to breathe. She talked to me a little bit, got me calmed down, got my pulse back to where it should be. That was good. And she went out and we checked my eyes. And she put her hand down at the minimum of what I had to have. And then she kept going down as far as I could. And I covered one eye, I'd read as far down with that. My right eye isn't as good as my left eye, so I couldn't read as far down with the right eye. And that kind of scared me. Anytime I go do an eye test, it always scares me just because I have glasses. But, like I say, it was no problem whatsoever. Go back in, she looked at my ears, she looked at my throat, she put me on the bed. And I get lean back, she checks your liver and checks your spleen, make sure nothing's inflamed or whatever. She puts a stethoscope on you, makes you breathe in and out real deep. We've all done that. And she tests the reflexes on my knees, and that was pretty much it. She left. The big doctor came in. He checked my heart, then just kind of asked me a bunch of yes and no followed-up questions. Do I have any sleep disorders? Do I have a hard time staying awake? Do I feel any chest pain? Do I feel a burning when I go to the bathroom? Do I have chronic lower back pain? Things like that. He signed all my papers. He went in. He faxed all those to the federal government. Came back with what, I don't know exactly what you call this, if it's a long form or what it is, but yeah, I came back with that. That's mine. They would be sending me the smaller one, I guess, in the mail. And then I can take this paper, and I think the lady said, because I actually just need this back page. If I have that back page, I'll take it in for my LPC. Actually, I already taken the test, only missed 2 questions. They will scan the code on the LPC, they will scan that deal, and they will give me my license. I'll pay the $12.50 here in Nebraska, and then they'll get my plastic one out to me in the mail. So, I was scheduled to get my drug test at the hospital there in Ord today, too. Yeah, I called them and got everything set up. Asked them what do I need to bring. They said just my driver's license. Make sure I know my social. If I have any insurance information, bring that. Went in, got everything set up. Got my pretty little wristband. I went back to the lab. It wouldn't do it. Not happy about it. I can't remember exactly what they called it. I wish I could remember because it's not that difficult. But they got to ship it out to a third party, which is fairly common. But they will not take a sample on anything they got there. They say if they're going to do the drug testing there, then they have to have the sample cups sent from either your place of business or the school you're going to go to. That information was not given to me. Not by the hospital, not by the school. So I called the school and left a voicemail for the driving instructor, Ed Lewis, there at Northeast Community College. He called me back. He was dumbfounded. Said he's never seen that happen before. Said it's not common at all. So he said, most places that he has his students go to, they ship them out to a third party anyway. Said he doesn't know what their issues are. So, when I go down there for my school visit, I will get it all paid for. I'll get it all done. Sorry, not paid for. So, all in all, it was pretty simple. There's no reason to be worried. I was lucky, and the lady that I went to is super nice and talks to you, calms you down. She understands when a lot of people go in there for this kind of stuff, they don't know what to expect. They all get a little white coat fever. And there's other doctors I've been to in the past that are just stone-faced, professional, and they freak you out a little bit. you know, when they're that stone-faced, it makes you worry like something's really wrong, you know, and it freaks you out a little bit more. So having somebody like that that'll talk to you like they're your friend or family, whatever, it's makes you feel pretty good. This was the one big hiccup, or one big hill I had to climb over. Just because I was waiting on my insurance stuff, and then that got all screwed around because the insurance company, I don't know what they did. They messed something up, so I'm not going to have my insurance card for another 10 days or whatever. Not happy about that, but that's just the way life works. But now I got to call my lenders now that I got my physical taken care of and tell them what I'm going to need for staying in the hotel, as well as my books and supplies and licenses or licensing costs, my endorsement costs. Try to get all that up front. And I'm a little bit scared to do that, and I know they'll have no problem lending me the money, but I think part of it is pride and part of it is anxiety. You know, I think all of us are too proud to ask for money, even when they tell us they're going to have no problem lending it. But I mean, that's the next hiccup. I'll call them tonight or tomorrow and BS with them a little bit and try to get that taken care of, but we're on the right track. And I say, for those of you nervous about the physical, just starting out, it's not bad. You know, like I say, look at a lot of those guys, you know, I use my uncle for an example so I don't offend anybody. You know, big guys. You know, big guys that waddle and big guys that waddle and have bad eyesight, and they're able to pass their physicals. So, you know, but you don't want to be real out of shape, though. You know, that'll do yourself a favor, because you're not just going to be crawling in and out of trucks. You know, you're going to have a little bit of manual work you're going to have to do driving a truck. So, kind of keep that in mind. But I say it's not that bad. You know, they didn't have me lift anything or do anything like that. I think that's going to be when the company puts me through their physical. They'll have me do the push-pull tests and the lifting stuff up and things like that. So I'm not too worried about it. But anyway, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later.